Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we got to talk about AtGames once more. Unbelievable stuff. I can't believe this product is being released or it's already out in the wild. So yeah, I've sworn off AtGames. I'm no longer giving them my money for anything, not buying their products. I do have one product of theirs that I'm going to be doing a review, and it's something that somebody let me borrow. Just so the community can know and see, people who may be out of the loop on these things can see what kind of stuff they're doing. But that'll be in the near future. But as far as me giving them money, not going to happen. A lot of people have sworn them off. They've always kind of had iffy quality with their products, and it just amazes me that they continue. But it's that casual market, those impulse buyers, people just grabbing these things in the stores. So if you recall, yeah, I'm blocked by AtGames on Twitter. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But if you recall, way back at FES 2018, Sega had announced, hey, look, take a look at the Sega Genesis Mini, right? And what did AtGames do? The second that, Sega announced this, they had to try to steal the thunder and say, hey, look, the rumors are true. Sega's going to release the Mega Drive Mini in Japan, powered by the latest AtGames technology. The new and improved technology will find its way into the US and other territories later this year. That tweet was later deleted because they kind of looked foolish, and I think Sega was probably kind of pissed at them for trying to steal their thunder, right? So later on, just recently, Sega had announced that, hey, it's being pushed into 2019. We want to make sure that's a quality product. We're going to be working with a developer in Japan. They're going to partner with somebody there to get this thing produced. So AtGames was kicked to the curb if they were even involved to begin with. Now that's why this is kind of odd. Unbelievable stuff. It looks like AtGames is still able to release Sega branded products. This right here, WD Gaster 2, doing a lot of amazing work out there. A lot of cool stuff that's going on concerning these kind of devices. Not just the AtGames stuff, but other actually cool stuff like the Retrobit Super Retrocade. So definitely a person to keep an eye on because they're doing some sweet stuff for the community here. But they're showcasing this, that, hey, this thing is out in the wild and being found. A 2018 version of the Sega Genesis AtGames Flashback system. Takes cartridges, all that good stuff. I mean, I don't want to say good stuff because it just rips the ROM from the cartridge and emulates it. The previous year's model, no matter what anybody tells you, oh, this is passable, it's not. There's a lot of sound issues, graphic issues, weird little things like that. I even found with the previous version, there was a lot of games that I just could not get to run. It just wouldn't work. I don't know anything about this device. I don't know if the technology is better, but AtGames has, lost any credibility. They even, anything. I don't care what they do. I'm not going to be buying this thing. They're not getting my money, but it does look like there are some changes with this thing. So taking a look, I think the main thing that WD Gaster here is looking at was, the hackability, that kind of thing. And it just, I guess they're finding some issues with hacking this thing, but there's a big difference here. There's a couple things that I noticed immediately, and obviously you can notice immediately with this 2018 version of the Sega Genesis Flashback. Does have an SD card slot. What is that for? Is that just to update the firmware to make it less crappy if somebody makes their own firmware for it or hacks it? I don't know. Or is it just so AtGames can update it later if they want to? At features, who knows? But then the other thing that is kind of interesting is once you actually look at this, the previous year's model had, that white writing that's painted on there. They had AtGames blasted right on the thing. This time they have it kind of imprinted into the plastic, so it's a little less intrusive, but still it has AtGames on there. I'm curious how and why this is continuing to go on. I've searched and searched. I can't find any information on a 2018 version of this, but it's out there. People are finding it. People are messing with this thing. It exists. I mean, I haven't seen it personally, but at the same time, I'm not looking for AtGames products. But is it strikes me as odd that if Sega kicked them to the curb on the Sega Genesis Mini, that these fools would still be allowed to do the full-size flashback consoles that can play cartridges. It's like maybe there was some kind of extended contract that allowed these guys to continue doing this, and maybe with the heat they got, they just didn't really want to announce this publicly, because even, me digging into their social medias, I haven't found anything. Google searches, I'm not finding anything on a freshly released version of this. Man, there's a fly like trying to eat my face. Get out of here. I'm trying to record a video. Damn. But, I'm not finding any solid concrete that this thing exists. But this is a reliable source of information here. I physically see it in this picture. I believe it exists. I just don't know how it quietly made it out to the market. With all the heat they got, the backlash, maybe they just didn't want to make a big to-do about it and really announce that they were doing this. They just wanted to throw it out to the market and let people buy this thing, and not really cause any kind of ruckus, especially with the blast stuff that went on with them. I don't care what anybody says. They used John Hancock. They lied. They backpedaled. They twisted their story. They contradicted themselves. They treated the community like garbage when people reached out to them. I'm a harsh person when it comes to certain things, but their responses to me weren't really like open to where they wanted to communicate, to where they wanted to right any wrongs. They just didn't want to hear it. They didn't want this news to spread. And I think they're really feeling that with some of these holiday products that they're releasing, that they don't want that negative attention out there. They're not even sending some of this stuff. The Atari one that just came out, the Flashback 9 and the Flashback 9 Gold, the Atari versions, those just released a few days ago. They did not send review units to any of the bigger YouTubers out there. They didn't send review units to anybody, from what I understand. I actually had seen some posts where they said, hey, well, purchaser reviews will be coming out shortly. There'll be people who have bought them in stores. They'll be reviewing it, so you'll get to see then what we've done. Because there's been a lot of criticisms with certain things that they've done. Not just that particular, blast unit that I reviewed and kind of exposed them with their shadiness with the help of the community. There's been a lot of other things people have pointed out. Their misrepresentation of, on the packaging with the paddles for Pong, the misrepresenting having, so many games listed on that, but it was really, they split up 8 games from one game. It was just variants of one and counted those as separate games. There's been a lot of heat and backlash with that in the community, especially on their social media pages that you can go to yourself and take a look at the way they interact with people. I think they've been trying to clean it up a little bit. They've been deleting posts. They've been blocking people who have anything negative to say about how this stuff works, and just any criticisms, they just don't want to hear it, and they don't want the public to be aware of, which is just shady. It's shady as hell. I mean, you want people to see these products, to understand what they are, to review them, but they really don't want people to actually review these things. They just want people to buy them. I think from this previous incident, they're just done with reviewers. They're just going to push these to the market, let people buy them. You take the risk. Because us people who actually care about this stuff is not their target market, obviously. And the quality they put behind some of this stuff is very questionable. And the average consumer that doesn't think about this stuff, who doesn't own, a legitimate system or, original system, or doesn't understand or know about emulation or FPGA gaming and stuff like that, these things might be acceptable to them. And AtGames just doesn't care. They've stated, their target market wouldn't care if they're arcade ROMs versus NES ROMs. And that may be true to a certain degree, but you're still fooling people with the way you've done things. So definitely shocked to see this product coming out and being available. Hopefully whatever contract they do have with Sega can just eliminate it. I know Sega had some plans to get AtGames products into Japan. Hopefully that's been wiped and they're not going to do it, because I would hope the Japanese, consumer would not accept this kind of crap. I mean, us, American consumers in Europe, all over the world, I don't think we accept this crap as far as people who care about these things and like the game and relive the past. I don't think AtGames has our best interest in mind. They just want to line their pockets with money. And is that inherently wrong? I say no. Their business, they want to make money, but you need to treat the consumer with respect. And I think AtGames is just not a company that respects their consumers. So it is what it is. There it is. If you guys have seen these out in the wild, let me know. I'm very curious what's contained on these units. I'm not finding any information, but hey, if you take the risk and you buy one of these, let me know. Very curious to hear. I think the previous model from last year had 85 games on it, and you can play cartridges. Looks to be probably a similar thing, but curious to hear what's been added, what's been removed, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not that curious, but I'm curious to hear people's experiences with it. So, do appreciate you guys stopping in. I finally fixed my face cam. A lot of people were pointing out, hey, it was like squished and you were fatter than you actually are. And I was just like, why are you calling me fat, dude? I know I'm a big boy. I'm very sensitive of my fatness. Like, you're gonna make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, my camera had some kind of weird, something enabled that like took me and squished my fat ass down to be a little squishier and wider, if you know what I'm saying. So I fixed that. Now I'm not as squished. My fatness is actually proportionate to how fat I actually am, instead of, making me even fatter. So I fixed that. Thanks guys for pointing that out. So smash that like button, slap the crap out of that notification bell, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom!